Lady Luck and four-leaf clover is kind of like life, you know. Lady Luck, four-leaf clover. Gee, what am I going to get next? So, on the last break, just for the last break, we were talking about how unresolved issues or incomplete issues can create space in a relationship or space in your mind that just takes up too much space because you're fretting over it and doing all kinds of stuff. And some of the examples are the missings that are in our life are what I call dangling participles. Like an acknowledgement or a thank you that has gone unspoken. In other words, you just didn't say thank you, or you wanted someone to acknowledge that you did something for it and they didn't say thank you. It's just stuff that you kind of sit on and absorb and it grows inside of you. A deed that's gone undone, something that quite frankly needs to be done and he doesn't do. Either it hasn't done for you or you haven't done it for somebody else. Or a long overdue phone call hasn't been made, like I took my daughter down to Southern California to move from Santa Barbara, moved out of my house, one of my houses in Santa Barbara. Oh, God, sadness. And moved down south, and she's 23 years old, starting her life, and just got out of school and moving jobs and doing all kinds of things, has her own apartment, and just setting up, getting her house set up and getting things going. And I love doing it, but on the way home, it was like, there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to say to her that I didn't say. So I had to get on the phone on Monday and say, hey, this is your dad, and here's what I got to say. And we had a great conversation. It's really a great completion. Or here's another one. Here's one we do a lot, is where we make somebody wrong and we shouldn't have, and we don't make it right. We get mad at somebody, we make them wrong, we think bad thoughts, we do all kinds of things. I got to tell you, I've had some experience of that in my separation with my wife. So it's all about how do you clean those things up? And are you willing to clean them up? Can you clean them up? What if you don't want to? What does it cost? So it's all about getting, the incomplete feelings completed. So what does being complete look like? Being incomplete is all those things. Being incomplete creates a nagging voice in the back of your head, like the one that goes off just as you're about to drift off to sleep at night. It just keeps you awake for the next 3 minutes. Being incomplete creates emotional upheavals. Being incomplete stifles your creativity. I mean, it costs you everything. And sometimes I'm listening to my mind think negative thoughts about different people or different situations that should have gone differently or didn't go my way. And after I get through thinking the thoughts, I'm going, now let me see now, what am I going to do with that? How powerful was that? Where did I make a difference thinking those thoughts? And the answer is always, I didn't. The answer is always, it's a waste of energy, a waste of time. But I'm never quite big enough to get it like I'm speaking it right now because I'm just human. I'm 65, cute, white-haired, but sometimes not as smart as I need to be. And so that's just the human side of being. So what does being complete look like? So I'm going to give you some of this in language, what being complete could look like. It's like looking around in your life and sitting and just taking a pause for a minute and just not having any regrets. You're just sitting here, and I've done this a couple of times. I'm going to be 65 in April, and there's a few things I wish I hadn't done, but most of the stuff I'm pretty happy I've done. And another way of being complete is having said what you need to say anytime you need to say it to anybody that needs to have it said to. And then another one is, that's a mouthful, by the way, I'll come back and I'll repeat these, but another one is being complete is apologizing where an apology needs to be made. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. It completes the person you're talking with, and it absolutely frees you up. Another one is saying thank you and showing appreciation for whatever, all right? And then the last one is having your integrity in place. And I say that last, but really it's the most powerful. Integrity is an amazing, amazing word. Integrity means that you did what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it. Or if you agreed to something, you actually followed through. I don't care if it's a 20 or 30-year agreement. You actually follow through on what you said. And if you want to change it, you speak up and say, I don't want to do it this way anymore. I want to do it that way. You don't just quit and walk away. Some people just quit and walk away. They leave body bags behind them. They leave people wondering what they did wrong. And the people that they walked away from haven't done anything wrong. There's just not the communication necessary to keep the family or the team together. So being complete creates a peace of mind that gets rid of all the would-haves, should-haves, and could-haves kind of thoughts. It's where peace lives. So let's go through those again. You want to? All right. So what does being complete look like? One, having no regrets. Think about that now. When's the last time you could look into yourself and say, you know, I'm pretty happy with the way things are. Maybe I should have done that one different. Maybe I should have this other one different. But they're all in the past. There is no past eraser. But I did learn, and I'm not going to do it that way again in the future. So no regrets. And next is saying what you need to say. Now, that's a big one. That means you say what you need to say, even if the listener has a hard time hearing it. You have to keep saying it until they understand. If you're in a marriage or on a team or in a family or whatever, if you don't say what needs to be said, if you don't speak your heart or speak your feelings, no one can read your mind. It is impossible. Do you know that moms are expected to read their kids' minds? Ain't going to happen. So you need to say what you need to say. The next one, number 3, is apologizing where an apology needs to be made. It is an absolute must. You have to get complete, you have to get freed up, and you have to make room for what you don't know. And the way you do that is you apologize for what's going on here. Okay? So now, the next one is saying thank you and show your appreciation instead of just absorbing and walking by and not saying anything and giving no hugs. And last but not least, I'll say again because I've got a caller on the line, is having your integrity in place. And this is a huge one. This is like being your word. No matter how long ago you spoke it, you got to be your word until you agree with the person you spoke it to, and you both agree you're going to change what you said you were going to do. All right, who's on the line? Hi, this is Clay.
This is Ian.
Hi, Ian.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
Excuse me, Ian.
cleaning things up, because I've got an ex-wife I haven't talked with in probably about 6, 7 years, and I keep wondering if there's anything I should be calling her and talking to her about what happened and all of that stuff, because certainly neither of us wanted it to go the way it went.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it'll do any good, if it'll just stir up old things and just exacerbate the situation.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, it's like what I was saying earlier. I say, what does being complete look like? And number 2 was saying what you need to say. So you may need to call her up and just ask permission to ask some questions and say what you need to say. And it may not do anything for her, but it'll complete it for you.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Well, I hear that. I guess I'm concerned about, again, creating any additional turmoil for her as far as just the process. I mean,
well, you can say to her that it's not your intention to do that. You say, you know, I need to say something to you and ask some questions so I can get complete. And it's not my intention to stir up or open up any old wounds or do anything like that. Do I have permission to say what I need to say?
I got your point.
You got
okay,
it?
I hear you.
No,
yeah.
so no. The key is ask permission to shoot straight.
Yeah.
But not as succinctly as I just said it. Don't be a drill sergeant like I'm speaking it. Put some heart speed behind it. You know, and lead. You know, you need to set up the listening. So it's like, have you talked to her at all in the last 7 years?
No, actually, I've made it a point just kind of like to, because I know how hurt she was in the process. So I just figured it'd be better for me to just leave it alone and let her live her life.
Well, don't be surprised with what you get, and then don't quit. Has she remarried?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Well, maybe it's time for you both to get complete. What do you think? And when you're you know, gonna go open up Pandora's box again, don't be surprised if a monkey jumps out and bites you on the neck. You just gotta get the monkey off your neck and keep going. See, number 3, I said, you know, one of the tools you use to get complete is apologizing when an apology needs to be made. And it sounds to me like you've got something you want to say you're sorry for. You may be right in the instance, but how effective you were in holding your ground maybe could have been done a little bit differently. But you didn't know then what you know now.
Well, that's true. That's the other aspect of it.
Yeah. So
grown an awful lot. So.
Yeah. So do you know where you have her phone number? You know where she lives?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you've got her phone number and you know where she lives, and you haven't talked to her in 7 years?
That's correct.
Wow. Don't ever get mad at me, okay? I want you to forgive me quicker.
Well, but the thing is, I haven't lived with you for 15 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, but you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, don't react too much to what you may get. The mad you may get back or the hurt feelings you may get back may be festered up over time, and you need to just let them just come out, and then you can speak to the person.
All right.
You got it?
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Let me know how it goes. Send me an email to Clay at claynelsonlifebalance.com. Clay at claynelsonlifebalance.com. And let me know how it went. I'd love to know.
Will do.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.